I have a confession to make. I suck at bare bottom plant grow out tanks. I've tried a lot of different ways to do this and I just can't get it to work. I've tried growing them in pots. I've tried gluing them to rocks and growing them in fertilized water. Heck, I've even tried to float the damn things and I still can't have any success. Actually, in all honesty, this was a tank that was torn down and I just threw them in there because I knew I was going to make this video. But even the ones that I've grown in pots, you can see that they're just kind of sitting there, rotting. They have plenty of light. They're on a good light cycle. You see we don't have any algae in the aquariums, but they're just not getting the nutrients that they need, and they're not growing and flourishing like they are in an aquascape. And down here in the potted tank, while everything is surviving, nothing is thriving. I just can't get them to grow. In contrast to something like the Riverscape here, well, you can see we have no problem growing anything in here. This actually needs to get about half of it ripped out. And even a simple setup like this, these plants are growing, thriving, and having a good time. So here's the deal. I'm going to take all three of these tanks, I'm going to tear them down, well, take the stuff out of them, and then use this aquarium down here to build a river wood kind of aquascape. That way we can grow our stems. We can grow some of the, what am I trying to say, carpeting plants down there. We can grow some epiphytes on the other side there. Still be able to harvest them and sell them easily, but make it an aquascape, nice to look at, and maybe help the plants grow a little bit better. The tanks are all drained. They have been cleaned, roughly cleaned, but I want to make some adjustments here to the shelf before we get going on the scape. If we look over here, I want to do kind of an immersed style, kind of half and half aquascape over on that rack. So I want to raise the shelf up like I did on this rack and give myself a little more space in between the top of the aquarium and the rack. The thing about this shelf though is that the lights are actually permanently mounted underneath. Now, not a big deal. They are kind of going through the rail. I've drilled holes and put the light stand through the side rails. So all I have to do really is just raise these side rails here and it should take the light with it. So let's make that adjustment and go from a 3 shelf to a 2 shelf. So behind me up here on these shelves, I have some river wood or driftwood that I've collected from nature here in Florida. So we're going to use this stuff and this should give us a nice little basis to create a cool little aquascape. So this is the stuff I've got to work with here. I'm thinking that we can get some kind of reasonable scape going on here with these wood pieces. Also have some rock. This stuff was locally collected as well. Kind of resembles a really light gray Sirius stone, but I have a bunch of this stuff too. So we should be able to get some sort of rivery design going here. I'm gonna put you guys on the music montage. We'll see if I can get some basic scape figured out. Alright, full disclosure, I played around with this first before shooting that little montage for you, but trying to keep the video as concise as possible. You can see here, we've got some space in the back where we can do our stems. Not really going to create a wall effect like I did in this aquarium where you can see that the aqua soil is actually hidden back in a wall area, and then we have an inert substrate for the foreground. This aquascape's going to be a carpeted aquascape, so we're going to have nutrients and a little bit of soil kind of throughout the whole aquascape. So what I need to do now is get some base filler in because we got to build the back of this up to create some depth and then put our wood and stones and stuff back in. I have a couple extra pieces here. I don't think I need the wood pieces. Less is more in my opinion, and I think if I start just sticking pieces of wood all over the place, it's just not going to look good. These 2 pieces of wood can be the feature, and then we'll drop some accent stones around as a finishing touch. So let's drop some substrate base into the back, and to do that,
I'm going to be using just this bucket of junk that I have. There's some stones, there's some aqua soil, there's some pebbles, there's some, what else is in there? Some sea chem fluorite is in there. So I'm going to lay that down and kind of create a base layer. So I've got enough base layer there to really provide enough depth for the roots to get all the way down to the bottom of the glass if they want to. Provides a nice base for the stones to sit in. I'll be able to get everything glued in and then start putting the aqua soil in. However, it is apparent that I am definitely not going to have enough aqua soil. If this is the depth of the aqua soil I have now, divide that by 2, and you can see that I probably only have enough to really just do half of the front of the aquarium. So that's going to put us on hold. I'm going to need to order some aqua soil, and we'll be back in a few days when that comes in. So I proceeded to jump onto everybody's favorite website, Amazon, and while browsing around aqua soils to buy on Amazon, I found an aqua soil I haven't used yet. And that is the Hygger CO2 Aquarium aqua soil. So I reached out to Hygger to see if maybe they wanted to help out with this project. For those of you that are new to the channel, Hygger has supported me since before I even had 1,000 subscribers. Amazing company. They love to support small creators and really just take care of fish keepers. So being that I have a good relationship with Hygger, I sent them an email, said, hey, I found this aqua soil here, and I need a pretty big bag of it to do this 22-gallon, 3-foot-long aquarium. Would you be interested in helping out? So, full disclosure, they responded and said, yes, we would love to help you out, and they sent me this bag at no cost. But I'll put the pricing up on the Amazon website right now. This is current as of November 2025. Prices do fluctuate a little bit, but you can see that it is comparably priced to other premium aqua soils on the market. We're going to be testing it in this video as well, mainly to see what the ammonia leach is as soon as we fill up the aquarium and let it sit for a day. That's usually a good test of aqua soil to see, is it nutrient rich? Is it over nutrient rich where you have just a crazy ammonia spike? So we're going to find out what happens. Hygger knows that I do review the products honestly. So what we're going to do now is fill up the aquarium with the aqua soil, fill it up with water, and then we'll see kind of what happens before we put our plants in. Let's take a closer look at the aquarium soil and what Hygger states it's going to do for you. No cleaning required. That means no rinsing before you add it to the aquarium. Long-lasting fertility, anti-powdering. That means it's not going to break apart into dust. Essentially saying it's going to maintain its shape and texture for a long time, and balanced water quality. Let's flip it over here. Some product features. Says that it's high in nutrients including nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Has acid reducing and water softening properties. Means it's going to lower your pH. Suitable size pellets include good breathability. That's essentially water circulation throughout the substrate. Provides stable support for root systems on the aquatic plants, and says it doesn't easily chalk or, maintains its shape. Gives you kind of usage and dosage stuff here. You'll be able to read that when you get your bag. Let's see, I will do aquarium sizes here. Let me see if I can get the reflection off. There we go. I'll just try and pan this a little bit. You can pause if you need to see kind of the dosages or maybe what size bag you should buy. All of them available in the link in the description. All right, let's get our aqua soil in here. I have 17.5 pounds in this bag, and I hope it is enough to cover this aquarium. It should be, but let me just get it in here. I'll do a small thin layer first, and then I'll make sure that I have enough to finish up the rest. Excellent. So without even spreading the aqua soil around, I can tell I have plenty to have a nice deep substrate in this 22-gallon, 3-foot-long aquarium. This aquarium is 3 foot in length, and it is 12 inches deep. For those that are across the pond from America, that is a 30 centimeter. It is 30 centimeters high, and that is 92 centimeters long. So now what I got to do is just kind of spread the aqua soil around, clean it off of all the wood, get a nice slope from the front to the back, clean off the rocks, make sure that everything looks as natural as possible. I do want to mention that the low dust is pretty accurate because the last part that I poured, you might have seen in the video, was right here And that is the bottom of the bag. Focus. That's the bottom of the bag right there. And that is all the dust that came out of the bag. So Hygger is correct. Very low dust aqua soil. The pellet size you can see is pretty good. Just a standard small grain, different size grains as well. So that's going to help with keeping the aqua soil in place. Let me go ahead and get all the aqua soil spread out the way I want it, and then we'll do a water fill and ammonia test. Got the aqua soil all spread out, smoothed out, makes the rocks look like they're down in the dirt as they would be in nature in a riverscape kind of sunken into the mud. I have a small slope from front to back, so you can see that we have a build up there for the aquascaping depth, kind of one of the key elements, as you know. I did forget to mention that all of my wood was glued to the rocks last week, so they've been set for quite a while. They are definitely sturdy and not going to move around. And you can see how we have multiple planting zones here, just little pockets of aqua soil in between rock and wood that's going to make for some interesting concepts here. So a grow out aquarium that's also beautiful to look at. I have a couple of accent stones here. Since I have an even number of stones, 4, we want to make sure that we don't have 4 stones. That whole aquascaping rule about having odd number of pieces. I do have 2 pieces of wood, but we're going to rock that. And speaking of rocks, let me drop some of these accent stones in. So now we have 7 stones, 3 on the right over here, and then we've got 4 on the left. So even though we have 2 pieces of wood in here, I think it looks a little bit better just having those little accent stones. Once we get a bunch of carpeting plants and stuff, you probably won't even see the rocks anyway. But for now, very simple kind of riverbed layout. Now I'm not going to bore you with a time lapse of filling an aquarium up. You know that water goes in and it stays in. I have down here the Fluval 107 filter. I'm going to get this equipped inside, get it hooked up, get it flowing. We'll be back tomorrow after this aquarium is sat overnight. I am filling it with pure RO water, just so you know. And we'll be able to tell right then and there tomorrow if there's any ammonia leach after, I don't know, about 16 hours. See you in a second. All right, upon initial fill up, we had a little bit of dusty cloudiness here, as you can see in this clip. Not too bad, all things considered. And I'm not sure if the wood had any dirt or debris on it as well. But here we are the next day, and there's just a little bit of haze to the water. However, this wood has never been used before, so I'm going to assume it's a little bit of tannins that are starting to leach out of the wood. But again, for a brand new fill up, very, very impressed with the aqua soil. Normally you have to do a water change almost immediately with some of the lower quality aqua soils. So pretty happy on my end. All right, first thing we need to do is fill up our little API test tube to the line. There we go, we're right on the line. Bottle 1, shake it up here. Can you see that? Yeah, I think it's there. I will zoom in on this here in a minute, guys. 8 drops. All right, 8 drops, bottle 1. Bottle 2, shake it up. 8 drops. All right, close the test tube, shake it up. Now we set it down, wait a couple of minutes, see what happens. I'll go ahead and bring the camera down here. Can already see a little bit of green, so definitely it is nutrient rich because it's already turning a light green. But let's see how dark it gets. My prediction, not too bad. Maybe middle of the road for nutrient and ammonia leach. It's been a couple of minutes now, and as you can see, we are sitting at about a 1 part per million as far as the color goes. Maybe a little bit darker than the 1 ppm. But if you have a nutrient-rich substrate like Hygger advertises, then you're going to have a little bit of ammonia leach. It's just part of the bacterial process, and there's nothing you can do about it. Before I get to the end, I want to say thank you to Hygger again. Always appreciate the support, and I think this aqua soil is going to help us go from a really crappy plant growing system to something that's going to be beautiful and profitable. Now, this may upset some of you because I know there's a lot of viewers that like to watch the planting, but I don't want this video to get too long, and I don't really have a plan on what I'm going to do, so I can't even explain it to you. I'm just going to fool around here, plant the aquarium, and then give you guys a recap, hopefully keeping the video short enough and entertaining enough for you to hit the like button and maybe subscribe. So I'm going to get this planted. I'll show you where I planted it. It's going to be easy to understand, and then we'll wrap this up. All right, the planting is done. I know it looks scarce, but let's run through the plants, show you what we got, then we'll fill up the aquarium. Starting right up here at the top, we have a little species of Bucephalandra that I can't remember. It's kind of like a pinto. I'll have to look it up. If I can find it, I'll put it on the screen, but the very highlight requirement and very special, expensive little Bucephalandra, that was from a experiment tank, for those that remember that fiasco. Right down here on top of this large flat piece of wood, we put some Bucephalandra down there. I do believe it's brownie purple, but again, I will confirm and put it on the screen. We have some Nana, Anubias Nana Golden, and then some regular Anubias Nana back there. Running down the carpeting plants, we have a little bit of Monte Carlo right here in the front. Very hard to see there. Just some little pieces that I stuck there. We have Hylanthium Tenellum Green over here that I just hope will fill in. Trying to do kind of a multi-carpet, if you will. And then I've just done one tiny piece. Let me see if I can find it for you. One tiny piece of Liliopsis brasiliensis. I may harvest some from another tank and fill that in, or I might just let that little guy turn into an entire carpet and fill in this area. Moving towards the back here, we have some Bacopa species unknown. I'll have to look it up again and put it on the screen if I find it. Ludwigia Super Red Mini here. Some moneywort next to it, kind of doing the red, green Christmas theme here. Behind it here, we have Alternanthera reniki. And then finally in the corner, we have Cardinal Plant, which will grow up all the way out, similar to this Cardinal Plant over here. All right, it's been another week. Everything has settled in. Let's see how the tank looks, and then we'll do an ammonia test again. Well, there hasn't been too much change in the aquarium. A little bit of melt back on some of the Anubias here. You can see these leaves are kind of brown and wilted and need to be trimmed off. The Anubias back here seems to be okay. Maybe one leaf there needs a little bit of attention. All of the Bucephalandra here seems to be just fine. I don't see any melt back or anything wrong with those. Our stem plants starting in the back haven't grown or anything, but haven't wilted. That's the Cardinal Plant back there. If we kind of peek through here and see the Alternanthera reniki or renikii, it is getting a little bit of melt, but not too bad. This has not had a water change in an entire week, so this could be part of the reason. I'm sure the ammonia is substantial. We'll find out here in a second. Our other stem plants back here, the Rotala looks okay. Hasn't really stood up or started to grow, but I'm sure it will. No melt back, and then our Bacopa here, no melt back on it as well. If the camera would focus on it. The only real change that I've seen in the aquarium is over here where we planted our carpeting plants. The Hylanthium Tenellum Green in some of the spots has got like, I don't know, a brown algae or something around it. I'm thinking possibly the plant died off and the algae or these diatoms have kind of taken over to eat it. I don't have too much of that problem over here. So these little carpeting plants seem to be fine. And our one little Liliopsis brasiliensis here, still fine. The Monte Carlo here, just that one spot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the water after we test it. You can see I've got some of this foam up top. It's usually not a good indicator. Well, it's a good indicator, but it's an indication that you may have some sort of issue with your water. So good to do a water change when you see that. And when I do the water change, I'm probably just going to suck out these areas right here, and hopefully that won't spread. Before we do any of that, let's grab an ammonia test and see where we're at. It's been about 5 minutes. Our test is complete and ready. The camera should bring in the color just well enough. Slide this card behind there. I think we can see we're still at 0.5 ppm. This is a good thing because you can set it up in a new setup and add your livestock fairly quickly. Just do more water changes than I did. I tend to be a lazy water change guy, but if you do more frequent water changes in like the first 2 weeks, I think you will have much better success for the ammonia level. But I don't feel that the ammonia level is high enough it's going to be any danger to your livestock should you forget a water change in a week. Okay, things are looking a lot better here. We got the glass cleaned, we got the full water change done, we put a little bit of liquid fertilizer back in there for the epiphytes. I did notice something when I was trimming the Anubias here. This Anubias is in epiphyte form, not touching any aqua soil. This Anubias back here has got access to the aqua soil. You can see there's a root shooting off there. So I'm thinking that maybe that Hygger aqua soil is helping this Anubias. Let me give you another example of aquasoil grown anubias. This anubias has access to the substrate there. There's aquasoil behind it. I know in the front it's just gravel, but aquasoil behind it where the main plant is rooted. And you can see it is just going crazy. So I'm willing to bet that that aquasoil has got something to do with it. We definitely have plenty in here, 17 pounds of aquasoil. So once again, thanks to Hygger for that. Let's wrap this video up for you guys. Final view here of the aquarium, the new grow out tank. That's going to wrap it up, guys. I would love to give you a final view of the aquarium grown in and stuff like that, but let's be honest, it's going to take months for all these plants to readapt, that aquarium to balance out, all the nutrients to be good. We probably still have a diatome phase to go through. It's going to take a while to get this set to where it's beautiful and luscious. As a YouTuber, I'm going to make you wait for it. So subscribe to the channel if you want to see it maybe a couple of months down the road. I've got lots of other interesting content already on the channel you can watch, and hopefully some new interesting content coming up. I'm experimenting with some formats. Anyway, without giving you too long of an outro, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please drop comments. It's good for the algorithm. Lets me know whether you like this content, don't like it. So let me know what you think of the new grow out aquarium. Maybe tell me why I failed at the old method of bare bottom growing plants. So interested to see what you guys think. Once again, thank you to Hygger for the aquasoil. I'll leave a link in the description to both Hygger's website, my affiliate page there, so you can buy directly from Hygger if you want, or if you want to get it on Amazon. Right now it's Black Friday, so you might be able to get some good deals there. Putting the links in the description. Support the channel, support Hygger. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.